The reason that we do missions, the reason that missions are not an option for us is because Jesus is not known. There are places in the world, we serve in one of them, where Jesus is not known. If you go to a train station, you ask 10 people don't know the story of Jesus. He's not known there, and that's why we're there. We got to make him known. And so, y'all have sent missionaries, not just us, but others, to go and to make him known in that place. And I'm going to tell a story about Michelle Dunn over there. But she went out there in 2018, and she was doing exactly that. We're at a train station. We're telling people about Jesus. We're interviewing people. We're telling, hey, you can practice your English with us. And this elderly guy comes up and says, oh, you're from America. I can, he speaks some English, and it's probably pretty broken, but Michelle's working with him, going through the script of what's your favorite restaurant? And they're talking. And he gets to the end, and she shares the gospel with this man. And he says, I know this story. And that's pretty rare. Most of the time, they got no idea. But he says, I know this story. I've heard this story before. And Michelle's like, oh, really? Tell me about that. He says, do you know a guy named Billy Graham? and Billy Graham had just passed away at that time. And so we thought maybe he saw it in the news and had heard the story. And he's like, Billy Graham told me this story. This is what Billy Graham believes, isn't it? And she's like, absolutely it is. But what is going on here? He's like, Billy Graham told me this story. And I was like, that's so weird. But I get on my Google machine, right? Our cell phones are there. And I'm like, for real? Like, this guy heard this from Billy Graham. And sure enough, in 1980, Billy Graham came to Osaka, Japan, did a crusade there, and had shared the gospel. And this man, who is elderly now, had heard, as a young man, the gospel of Jesus Christ for the first time. I tell that. It's good that we got out there and shared the gospel, but I tell that is almost like a crushing story to me, because this was the second time that he had heard the gospel. So here he is, 1980 to 2018, this 38 years had gone by since he had heard the gospel. Jesus is not known in Osaka, Japan. This guy didn't know it. He had heard it one time before. And then Billy Graham, the greatest evangelist ever lived, told this story to this man. And the second person, the school teacher in Conroe, out here in Willis, Texas, came out there and told the story again for the second time. And maybe it's going to take 3 times of him hearing the story before he believes. But I don't think he's got another 38 years to wait. We've got to get the story out. We've got to send more. We've got to do more. We've got to support our missionaries because it's not an option to wait another 38 years. We have to make Jesus known.